without the ornament. You can't hear. Yeah. Ooh. Ah, there, not it. One maybe, but we can remove that. ॐ शन्नो मित्रशं वरुणः शन्नो भवद्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Let's see where we are. Bhshya. We are in the paragraph 77, I think. Sattvoktya eva satyavatvam uchyate uktam hi sadeva satyam iti. Tasmat sattvoktya eva satyatvam uchyate. Katham evam अर्थता अवगम्यते अस्य ग्रंथस्य शब्द अनुगमात्. Yeah, this much we have seen. अनेनैव हि अर्थेन अन्वितानि उत्तराणि वाक्यानि. Let me dare to share this without getting disconnected. So this is where we are. अनेनैव हि अर्थेन अन्वितानि उत्तराणि वाक्यानि. So it was pointed out those 4 questions, 2 questions which became 4, which became 3. What is the first question?
Brahma asti nasti va.
Brahma asti nava. Does Brahman exist or not? That is the first question. Okay. And Prativachanartham, to respond to these questions, is the next section is made available, is started, is begun, arabhyate is begun. This was told. All right. And then yacha uktam satyam. So this we have already seen. And also the other reason why this section is begun is to tell us what this satyam is, etc. We don't know, etc. Because we just saw it briefly. But how Brahman is Satyam and what does Satyam do in the world, all this we do not know. So then it says, Anenaiva hi arthena anvitani uttarani vakyani. So the whole section is committed to relive or reveal Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. How do we know? Because Anenaiva hi arthena, with this purport in mind. Artha means purport. Anenaiva, this alone, this purport alone in my mind, Anvitani, have been woven Uttarani Vakyani. The other sentences in the next section have been interwoven with this, keeping this Satya Shabda in mind alone. And he gives the two Satyam Jnanam Anantam Shabda in mind alone, and he gives two examples. What is the first example? Tat Satyam iti achakshate. Tat Satyamityachakshate tadapyesha shloko bhavati. That is, we'll see that when we come to that. We don't have to go off on a tangent, because there it makes more sense. So this is what is called Satyam. It is said later on. And then another sentence also he quotes from the very next mantra. Yadesha akasha anando nasyat. And supposing if this akasha, if the space was not Ananda, if time was not Ananda, if all the things that have come from space, such as Vayu, Apaha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, all these things, if they had not come from all this, if they were not Ananda, then Kohyevanyat kaf pranyat. Who would be breathing? Who could live without Ananda? And then Esha hi eva Anandayati. Anandayati actually. So all these quotations show that this whole section which is going to come is going to unfold Satyam in a particular way. Okay. So, but then now the Purva Pakshi is just scratching to talk, okay, breaking into hives at the thought of Satyam and the Astita of Brahman, that Brahman is existent, is totally unacceptable to the Purva Pakshi. Why? The fellow is a Buddhist. That's the only reason. Okay, what kind of Buddhist? Shunyavadi. Not that we have anything against Shunyavadi. Everybody has their own way to go forward and believe in whatever they want. That's not our issue. But we have a philosophy to unfold. We have something to put forth. Number one. Number two, we have to understand that Adi Shankara was contending with two kinds of fellows in his time. The first one was these Shunya people, and the other one were Nirishwara people, no Ishvara people, and no Brahman people. So that's why he is very firmly going against all of them. Okay, so this is why he says he brings these two Purva Pakshas out, and then he's going to answer them. So Purva Pakshi asks now. Tatra Asadeva Brahma iti ashankyate Kasmat Yad Asti Tad Visheshatah Grihyate Yatha Ghatadi Yannasti Tat na upalabhyate Yatha Shashavishanadi Tatha na upalabhyate Brahma Tasmad Visheshatah Agrahanat Nasti iti. Yeah. So he is not asking a question, which shows that he's not interested in the answer at all. So first let's just translate this and then we'll see it in detail. Tatra asadeva brahma iti ashankyate. Ashankyate means shanka asti. There is a doubt. Ashankyate, we doubt. Doubt is, no, it's not we doubt. It's like doubt is presented. Doubt is doubted. That's exactly the translation. It is doubted. What is doubted? Tatra asadeva Brahma. Therefore, Brahman is non existent in this conversation. And he says, oh, now he will ask for some proof. Bhashyakara and the Vedantin, so let me give proof. This is the Purva Pakshi's proof, which actually goes poof when R becomes silent, when Adi Shankara makes short shrift of it, as we will see. So, Purva Pakshi says, okay, I am going to be a very good Purva Pakshi and back up what I say. I'm going to back it up. And then what am I saying here? I'm saying Brahman is non-existent. That is my doubt. Why? Kasmat? How? Yadasti tad visheshatah grihyate. He's sounding like a broken down, I don't know what, record, jukebox, something. Playing the same tune over and over and over. Yadasti, he says, whatever is there, tad visheshatah grihyate. Grihyate. Yadasti, first let's look at this. Yadasti tad grihyate. That which is existent is grihyate. It is understood as an object. It is objectifiable. That which is existent is objectifiable. Drishtam loke. This is very well understood and seen in the world. Yatha, he gives an example also. He wants to have perfect logic. He sets up a postulate, he gives an example, he tells what he is doing. Yatha ghatadi, like pot, etc. Pot is there, pot is seen. Therefore, pot is, yeah, hat is there, hat is seen. Therefore, cat is there, cat is seen. Therefore, cat is, mat is there, mat is seen. Therefore, mat is. Yeah, nasti. That which is not there, tat na upalabhyate. That is not available for objectification. Yatha shashavishanadi. He wants to show he has been listening to the Upanishad. Like the horns of the rabbit, which you yourself mentioned earlier. Where had he mentioned earlier? Where had he mentioned?
And in the beginning, when Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma.
Yeah, exactly. So, Esho Yati Vandhya Putraha. What is that, you know? Mrigatrishnam Bhasisnatha Khapushpa Shekharaha. Mrigatrishnam Bhasisnatha Khapushpa Shekharaha. Esho Yati Vandhya Putraha Shashashringa Dhanurdharaha. So here comes the son of the non-existent son of a childless woman. Okay, non-existent son of a childless woman. Even she doesn't have the status of the mother, but still he has somehow come. And he's a very happy-go-lucky fellow. He just took a bath where in the waters of the oasis, mirage waters of imaginary waters of the desert. Then he thought he will adorn his hair with heavenly flowers, flowers that have dropped straight out of heaven just for him. Then here goes this fellow, and he is holding a bow made of the rabbit's horns. So then you yourself said Shashavishanadi to illustrate non-existence. So here also I will say this Yatha Shashavishanadi, this is non-existent. So na upalabhyate is not available in the world. So Brahman, do you see? Look to the left, no Brahman. Look to the right, no Brahman. Aage, piche, upar, niche, look up, look down, look this way, that way. You don't see Brahman. Where do you see Brahman? Nowhere. Just like your Shashavishana, the example that you gave earlier, Brahman is not there. He concludes, Na upalabhyate Brahma. Brahman is not available. Tasmad visheshatah agrahanat. Here he gives the cause. Visheshatah agrahanat. Not being able to grasp attributionally or according to its attributes. Not a single, okay, Brahman may be too difficult to grasp, but at least one, air is difficult to grasp, but at least one sense organ can feel it. Two sense organs can feel it, hearing and touch. And one sense or even sound is difficult to grasp, but at least the ears sense the sound. And so here you say it is not objectifiable by any of the jnanendriyas, any of the karmendriyas, nothing. And so therefore visheshatah agrahanat brahma nasti iti. Brahman is not there at all. You see, this is a very, what is that, crafty Purva Paksha. Extremely clever and extremely crafty. And why? Let us count the reasons. Let us count the reasons why. First of all, it is like, what is that? Showing you your own logic. So, in other words, it's like the Purva Pakshi is beating you with with your own stick. Yeah, your own stick. Your own stick is being used to beat you. You say, hey, this is my stick. Doesn't matter. These are the rules of the game. That's how you will understand what a beating is. If I beat you with something else, you're not going to understand. And so, therefore, this is the this is the what is that? This is the krama here, the order. This is the order. What is the order? The order is that I follow your words closely, and your own medicine, which you gave to me, I give it to you. I just have added some bitters, that's all, because it's good for health. And it will be pakka. It will have hetu, means reasoning. Logic will be there. It will have tarka, meaning certain comparisons to other things will be there. Nyaya will be there. Logic will be there. Tarka will be there. Tarka is the presentation of nyaya. Like we also have that. Like, what is that? In English, we have that. What is that called? Famous one. All people are mortal. All men. And this only applies to men. Okay. Yeah. All men are mortal. Socrates is a man. Therefore, no, all men are mortal. Postulate number one. Socrates is a man, and therefore Socrates is mortal. Okay. You don't need logic. You just have to wait, and somebody will see him die. That's all it is. So, but this is a kind of a postulate. So the postulate means it's a statement. So it's a statement. Like, what is the statement? Parvato Vanhiman. That's the postulate. The mountain is on fire. How do you know? Did you go up? No, I'm here. Did you see the fire? No, I can't see the fire. The mountain is tall. So how do you say mountain is on fire? Dhumravatvat. Because of smoke. Then you have to give an example. Because otherwise the logic is not complete. So the postulate is there. Hetu is there. Hetu means the reasoning is there. And then you have to give a udaharana, the example. Because how do you know that wherever there is smoke, here you are coming up with a conclusion. Wherever there is smoke, there is fire. But how do you know? Because Parvato Vanhiman. The mountain is on fire. How do you say? Dhumatvat. Because of the smoke. Do you see the smoke? Yes. Do you see the fire? No, it's too high. I can't go. I see the smoke billowing from one side of the mountain. From one side of the mountain, I see the smoke billowing. So therefore, I conclude the mountain is on fire. Okay. Then that's not enough. You have to give a reasoning. How do you know smoke is equal to fire? How do you know that? Because I have had a few accidents in the kitchen. I turned on the stove, and then what? I put a pot of something, and then I started to read something very interesting. In fact, it was so interesting that till the smoke billowed out of the kitchen, I was I was blissfully unaware that something was on fire. Then the smoke came, and then I quickly took some water and doused it all, and had to throw away the pan because it was starting to have hole in it and it was totally charred. And then what? Then I threw it away. Then I understood that yatra yatra dhumraha tatra tatra vanhihi. Wherever there is smoke, there is fire. So when I say parvato vanhiman, the mountain is on fire, then I have to give a cause, hetu, dhumavatvat, dhumatvat or dhumravatvat. Then then I have to give a cause, and then I have to give an example that has been directly experienced by people, by myself, whatever. So then pakashalavat, like the kitchen fire. In the kitchen fire, we have had a chance to directly observe that wherever there is that the fire is accompanied by smoke. Smoke, however, is not accompanied by fire, need not be accompanied by fire, but the other part is true. What is that? The fire is accompanied by smoke, and so therefore what? So therefore, I give an example. Yatha pakashalavat, just like in my kitchen. In my kitchen, I have burnt a lot of things, and so I know exactly what we are dealing with. In fact, do I smell smoke? You just go and sniff. Oh, I smell smoke. There must be fire. So the smoke becomes a upalakshana for fire. How? Because of having observed it in your own sweet kitchen. Okay, maybe not so sweet after the accident, but anyhow, in your smoky kitchen, you have observed it. All right. And so let me go back to the Bhashya here again. Yeah, so here also, let's go back to the Bhashya and see what he's doing. Very crafty Purva Pakshi. He has crafty means he has crafted a really good argument and has tried to mimic the Bhashyakara. So he says, Asadeva iti, Asadeva Brahma iti ashankyate. It is definitely doubted. And then he says, why? Kasmat, how? And then he gives the postulate. Yad yad asti. Whatever is there, tat tat visheshatah grihyate. Whatever is there is specially grasped, is specially understood. Specially means specifically according to certain gunas. Don't think sattva, rajas, tamas. Think tall, short, fat, thin, all these things. According to its attributes, it is understood. And the clever fellow gives an example. Yatha, just as a pot. So even if somebody is blind, they can make out the shape of the pot by running the fingers and then bringing it close to the hands and running the fingers. They can surmise how big the ghata is, how much water it can hold. They can surmise all these things. So yatha ghata, etc. etc. means he has opened the door, the Purva Pakshi has, to bring more things like the ghata. So it's not just one example. Ghata adi, ghata, etc. And then he continues very suave. He says, Yat nasti tat na upalabhyate. So very nice, under the name of logic, you have some wonderful, what is that? Wonderful ways of just pulling the wool over the eyes. Yat nasti, that which is not there, is not objectified, is not available for transaction. Upalabhyate, not available for transaction of any kind. Like your own Shashashringa. Your own. So he took the stick and is beating the Siddhantin with it. Your own Shashishringa, beating the Vedantin. And then conclusion. Tatha, in the same manner, na upalabhyate Brahma. He doesn't immediately come out and say Brahma nasti. He says what? Na upalabhyate Brahma. Na upalabhyate Brahma. Brahman is not available. Why? Tasmat. Therefore, Visheshatah Agrahanat. So that in due to the fact that I cannot catch a hold of Brahman through any of its attribute. Why? You said it is Vishesha Rahityam Brahmana Asti. So, Tasmat na upalabhyate. It is not there. Agrahanat, because I cannot grasp any of its attribute, let us just agree. What shall we agree? It doesn't exist. It simply doesn't exist. Doesn't exist at all. And if it doesn't exist, then then what is the point of discussing this? You know, what is the point of discussing this? Brahman is not available for vyavahara, transaction. And so therefore there are two possibilities. What are the two possibilities? Brahman is not. So one person says Sat Brahma, another person says Asat Brahma. And so then this is the doubt that is raised, and as you can see, it is very tightly raised. See, the other thing we have to see is that this Visheshatah Grihyate, meaning Ghatadivat, like Ghata. Why does he bring the Ghata? Because there is Ghata which has its own peculiarity. Let's say it is a crackpot. This Ghata is a crackpot. So you can say crackpot Ghataha, or you can say Brihad Ghataha, big, big Ghata, or something like that you can say. But here you can't say big, you can't say small, you can't say tall. So what is it that says that is there for Brahman, that is its unique characteristics which can be grasped? This is the idea. Its unique characteristics that can be grasped. So Visheshatah, what does he say? Visheshatah grihyate. It is not Visheshatah grihyate, it is not understood. Like pot grihyate, pot is available for transaction. What is pot? That which has potness is pot. That which has treeness is tree. You recognize the tree by its treeness. You recognize the pot by its potness. And so therefore here also you should be able to recognize what? Brahman for its Brahmanness. Where is Brahmanness? Visheshena na grihyate. Because all the other things, potness, etc., these are attributes. They are the objects of perception, etc. Perception, not just eyes, but any of the means of knowledge. And so, yad asti tad visheshatah grihyate. This is his logic. Yad asti, that which is there is gochara, is available in a particular way according to its particularity. Yad asti tad gocharam. And so he says yatha ghatadi vyavahara yogyam, fit for transaction. Vyavahara gocharam, available for vyavahara, transaction. And so therefore there is, you here you are showing something which is asparsham, it cannot be touched. Agandham, you cannot sniff it. Arupam, you cannot see it. You cannot smell it. You say a thing exists, but you cannot taste it, you cannot touch it, you cannot infer it, you cannot, it's not an object of perception, it's not an object of presumption, it's not an object of inference. Then katham grihyate? Even good old Swarga is better than this. Good old Swarga is better, because Swargaha Astinava. Is heaven there or no? It is somewhere, you can say. Is it Vyavahara Gochara? If it's Vyavahara Gochara, I can understand, but it is not Vyavahara Gochara. Not now, but later it is Vyavahara Vishaya. Later, when you go there, you can say ha he, and you can laugh, with Indra and all these things. At least later it's going to fructify as Svargaha Asti. For who? For the person who has gone there. But what is your Brahman? Nobody says Swarga is Ashabdam, Asparsham, Agandham, Arupam. Swarga is not like that. Swarga is said to be the place which has Desha, which has Kala, which has object, all these things. But here your Brahman has no time. You say it is not bound by time. Okay, so I can't, I can't even think, okay, maybe it was there and it will come back. Or maybe after I understand this, whatever you're talking about, it will be there later on. That is also not there for me. You're talking about Brahman as Vyavahara Avishaya. It is not available for transaction. Therefore, you are concluding it is Nasti. So, what is your logic? Yadyat grihyate, Visheshatah grihyate, Tadeva Asti. That which is, all that which is specifically objectified, then only it is there, like even a pot. And now the opposite. Yad yad nasti, yad vastu nasti, that which is not there, then it is not available for transaction. Na upalabhyate. Visheshatah na upalabhyate. Then, like what? Your own shashavishana, rabbit's horn, etc. And so this is the Purva Pakshi's, contention. Brahman is what? Nasti. Just like Shashavishana, I told you. Like the horns of the lovely rabbit, lovely horns of the rabbit, it is just not there. And so, na upalabhyate, it is not available. Therefore, yat na upalabhyate tan nasti. That which is not available, it is not there at all. If it's not available, it is not there. So therefore, upalabhya, that which is upalabhyamana, that which has the availability, then only it is existent. So existence and availability of an object go together. I see it, it is there. It is there. Therefore, but Brahman, where do I see it? No. Therefore, na upalabhyate. It is not available for transaction. And therefore, why? Because vyavahara avishayam, you say, vyavahara agocharam. Tasmat what? Therefore, visheshataha agrahanat. Because it cannot be captured, according to a specific attribute. Like, how do you distinguish an orange from a tangerine? There are certain differences in taste, in the thickness of the skin. So many differences are there. And so, at least some attributes it should have, and then we can say this is the unique feature of Brahman. Like every flower has a unique feature. The rose has a scent and a certain look. Certain flowers, they are, non-vegetarian flowers. Venus flytrap. And then it just looks at the looks at the fly and then flies towards it. It has the spiny little kind of a mouth, and then it just nicely digests the fly, and then the fly falls inside a kind of what is that? A kind of a little pit which has certain digestive juices of this plant, and then the fly is gone. And so that is also there. It has a Vishesha, but here you say there is no Vishesha. And then so then if it doesn't have Vishesha, then how can you say it is there? Nasti Brahma. Nasti Brahma. Because anything that is Ashabda, Arupa, Arasa, Agandha, etc., then it is what? It is Aprameya. It's not a object of knowledge. And it is Achintya. It's not an object of contemplation. That means what? It is the subject, but this stupid Purva Pakshi is not understanding. He says, that's why na idam, na idam. What? Nasti. Not there. What does Shankara do? Tanna.
Tanna
And he gives a wonderful reason. Akashadi
Akashadi
karanatvat brahmanah
Karanatvat Brahmanah
na nasti brahma
Na Nasti Brahma
tasmat
Tasmat
akashadihi
Akashadihi
sarvam karyam
Sarvam Karyam
brahmanah jatam grihyate
Brahmanah Jatam Grishyate
yasmat cha jayate kinchit
Tasmat Jayate Kinchit
tat asti iti
Tat Asti Iti
दृष्टं लोके
Drishtam Loke
यथा
Yatha
घट
Hata
अंकुरादिकारणम्
Ankuradikaranam
मृत् बीज आदि
Vrit Bija Adi
तस्मात्
Tasmat
आकाशादिकारणत्वात्
Akashadikaranatvat
अस्ति ब्रह्म.
Asti Brahma.
Yeah, this is, he gives 2 3 arguments. This is the first one, okay, because Adi Shankara has a lot to say about this. A lot to say about this. And what does he say? First, the style is to negate it completely in the beginning. Tat na, it is not like that. It is not, nothing you said is valid. Not a single thing you say makes sense. Why not? Because you are just, in other words, you're talking nonsense. That's why. Not a single thing that you said. At least if I could agree with you part way, I would be happy to agree with you at least partially. But not even one thing that you said has made sense. So therefore, tanna, not at all. And then he gives a double negative, na nasti brahma. Na nasti, not non-existent is this Brahman. To for emphasis, double negative. Double negative means positive. Asti eva iti. Grihyeta, you have to understand it as asti only, not nasti. Okay. And so then what happens? He says, he gives a very good reason. Nanasti Brahma. Why? Akashadi karanatvat Brahmanah. You may not see Brahman. See Brahman. You are not able to see Brahman. Okay, no problem. But you see the effects of Brahman. How? Akasha you see. Vayu you see. You see means you can grasp. You can objectify. Fire you see, water you see, earth you see. So all these things you can see. And then out of the Pancha Mahabhutas, so many other things have come, right? The Sukshma Sharira, the Sthula Sharira has come. The what is that? The gross body of all beings has come from the 5 elements, Akashadi, from Akasha, etc. So there is space where? In the stomach and in the head and in between the knees and everything. That's why when you suddenly wake up, some click clack sounds come, it's popping sounds in space. And then what else? Then we have, Vayu in the lungs. Vayu is there in the form of prana. Fire is there, digestion. Water is there. So much of the body is water, blood and endocrine glands, etc. It's all water. Digestive juices, everything is water, fluids. And then what do we have? Fire, then we have fire, then we have air. Air, I said, yeah, air. Water, water. Water is there, earth. Finally, earth, in the form of bones, the foundation. So not only your body, all the physical bodies that you see of plants, of animals, of other beings, and if there are extraterrestrial people, why should there not be? Of course there are. It's just a matter of when either they discover us or we discover them. Already some radio waves have been, are coming, but we are too stupid to understand what they are saying. That's what my feeling is anyway about this matter. They must be saying, you are a danger to yourself. Look at what you're doing to the planet. Wake up. You should have woken up a long time ago. Even sitting here, we can see that you're going down the wrong road. Get up. Save yourself. There is no other planet you can go to. Come on. You can do this. We'll teach you how for free, no charge. But we think there is nobody else because we don't understand their language. We don't even understand that somebody is speaking to us. So even if there are human beings or any beings in other terrains of the space, etc., in space, for them also the same thing applies. That body, extraterrestrial alien body, also created from what? 5 elements alone. But how do you know that that also is the same logic as here? That's true. In fact, in the Bible, etc., as above, so below. But we haven't seen above. We don't even know whether it's really above or not. We say as here, elsewhere. Yad yatha atra means asmin loke. Yad yatha iha atra punyachito loka kshiyate, karmachito loka kshiyate, tat tatha amutra punyachito loka kshiyate. Same logic. Just like here, the person who gathers karma, after a certain while of gathering karma, goes away. The karma, the karma that is gathered in this particular life, prarabdha, is experienced away, exhausted away, just for this particular life, not sanchita. We are talking only of prarabdha. Similarly, that punya which takes you to heaven and some other worlds also, in the same way is exhausted. In other words, you come back. That's what. You come back. Vapas aa gaya. You have come back. Why? Because you have been booted out of that place. No place for you there anymore. You have come back. This is Chandogya Shruti. So we don't say as above, so below. We don't have the question of above, below. These are parallel universes that are existing. And from the standpoint of parallel universes, they could be right next to you, right here. You don't know. You don't know. Because you can't see. There is a veil between this particular way of being and that way of being. You don't know. And so therefore what? So therefore this whole argument is going to be taken down systematically. And so then the subtle body is made up of subtle elements. The subtle aspect of the elements go on to make up the subtle body. And then so they are so bhutas, pancha mahabhutas, the 5 big elements. Big means they are the cause of everything. And they themselves are caused by what? Brahman. And so then whatever has come of the bhutas are called bhautikas. Bhutebhyaha jatam bhautikam. So this is called bhautika. So the bhutas are responsible for this. And then who made the bhutas? Who is the cause of the bhutas? Brahman. The same Brahman that you are trying to deny. So in other words, idiot, you are denying your own body, which is the cause of 5 elements, which has come from Brahman. He's throwing some shade on this fellow. Okay. Then, so therefore he says, Akashadi karanatvat brahmana, because of Brahman's status being that of the cause. And then, You can't deny that Brahman exists. You cannot deny Brahman's existence. Na nasti Brahma. It's not that Brahman is not there, meaning Brahman is very much there. Tasmat Akashadihi sarvam karyam brahmanah jatam grihyate. We understand everything as all the effects that have come from Brahman alone, starting with Akasha. Starting with Akasha, Akasha is the list of which, Akasha is the beginning of which list? From the subtlest we go to the grossest. So, Akasha is the top of the list, of which list? From that Akasha, etc., all the effect of this thing, we see that it is, we understand that we understand that it is coming from Brahman alone. Yasmat cha should come before. So cha means further. Yasmat jayate kinchit tad asti iti drishtam loke. In the world, it is seen that when something comes out of something, that something which something else has come out of, that thing should be existent. You can't have a non-existent cause give rise to an existent thing. That would be extremely inconvenient. Because where have you come from? Non-existence. So in the effect, the cause inheres. This is a logic. So the baby looks like the mother and the father. And even if it doesn't look like the mother and the father, we have other ways of finding out the DNA and all that testing, paternity testing, all this we can make out. Even a simple blood group test will show that this baby cannot be born to this person. It can easily show. Okay. So that means what? The cause, the local cause here, the mother, father, they have left their impression on the baby. Okay. Even though the baby, after it grows up, might think, I certainly must be adopted. My parents are mean. that boy or girl may think that, but nonetheless, that is not the case. The cause inheres the effect. Okay. The cause in here means it is in here. Okay. Yeah. So it is inherent. The cause is inherent in the effect. And so there is no effect without the cause being there. Okay. And so this is, so you may not see the cause, but you see the effect. And Adi Shankara very cleverly beats him, the Purva Pakshi, with his own stick. How? He says, like your ghata. Like your ghata. What is ghata? Pot. Like your pot. Sir, you said pot. Here, since you understand at least one thing, you understand pot. So I will so I'll give you pot. That much you understand. So you don't see the clay, correct? You bought the pot from the potter, and the potter also had already used up the clay that day, for that day. So even when you went to buy the pot, you did not see clay. You bought the pot home, no clay, only pot. Then you use the pot to, break it on my head in your last argument. Then also, no clay, only pot. So can I tell you right now that clay is non-existent? Because na drishyate, this mrid na drishyate. The clay is non-existent. Clay is not perceivable. Clay is not available here. I'm only seeing pot. Therefore what? Therefore, clay does not exist. Because I don't see it. Can you say that? Would that be a valid argument? Or you see a shrub, a small sprout, a little small plant, a baby plant. You see a sapling. And then you say, I don't see the cause of it. What is the cause of the sapling? Seed. I don't see the seed. No, it was planted. Okay, I'm going to dig it up. I was a ferret in my last life. And that the ferret, what is that? Vasanas persist. Now I'm going to dig it up. No seed. I don't see the seed. Therefore, what? Seed does not exist. Clay does not exist. Can you say that? No. This is the stick that Adi Shankara meets him with. Adi Shankara says, this is what he says, Yatha Ghata Ankuradi Karanam Mritbijadi. So just because I have a pot, and then I don't see clay anywhere. Why? Because it is there in abundant measure in my head. That's why it's clogging up the thinking. So it's clogging up the thinking and I'm coming up with wrong conclusions. So I don't see clay. Where is clay? No clay. No clay, and therefore no pot. Pot is non-existent. I can't come to that conclusion just because the cause is not immediately available. Just because the cause is not drishti gochara, vag gochara, see, the cause is not immediately, you cannot articulate that this is what the cause is like, describable through words, directly, the direct object of words. And just because the cause is not available for objectification through the eyes, through inference, through perception, whatever, you cannot, it's a very foolish conclusion. You cannot, for the life of you, for the life of you, you cannot conclude that it is non-existent. What is non-existent? The effect is non-existent. The cause is non-existent because I don't see it. I don't see it, and then so therefore it must be non-existent. Why? The cause is already woven into the effect. The effect, and we have seen this earlier when the Satyam Jnanam Anantam was talked about. You may not remember it, but I do. So you have to take my word for it. And so when Satyam Jnanam Anantam was talked about, we saw. What did we see? That the effect is non-separate from cause. Just because you don't see the cause, you cannot deny the cause. Yatha ghata ankuradi karanam mrid bijadi. So the cause for ghata and ankura, sapling, sprout, is the bija. This cause of sprout is bija, cause of ghata is mrit. Tasmad akashadikaranatvat asti brahma. Therefore, what? This is not Purva Pakshi's therefore. This is Adi Shankara's therefore. We have to sit up and listen properly for this particular therefore. Tasmat akashadikaranatvat asti brahma. Therefore, Brahman is existent. Brahman is. Why? It is the cause of akasha, etc., and all the other things. I hope you don't want me to list it all over again. Okay? Yeah, so it's the cause of everything, starting with the 5 elements, and the 5 elements in turn are the cause for other things, and so asti brahma. Further, nacha
न च
asatah
ततः
jatam kinchit
जातं किञ्चित्
दृश्यते लोके कार्यम नो गृह्यते लोके कार्यम
लोके कार्यम्
असतः
ततः
चेत्
चेत्
नाम रूपादि कार्यम
नामरूपादिकार्यं
निरात्मकत्वात्
क्रियात्मकत्वात्
न उपलभ्येत
न उपलभ्येत
उपलभ्यते तु
उपलभ्यते तु
तस्मादस्ति ब्रह्म.
तस्मादस्ति ब्रह्म.
Yeah. So, again he points out, Nacha asataha jatam kinchit grihyate loke karyam. Further, asataha jatam, born of asat, means born of something non-existent. Born of non-existence, do you see any effect of non-existence? No. Na drishyate loke, na grihyate loke. In the world, there is nothing called the effect of non-existence. Out of a non-existent woman, a son cannot come, correct? So, in the same, out of a non-existent clay, what cannot come? Out of a non-existent seed, sprout, sapling cannot come. So similarly, na asataha jatam kinchit grihyate loke. Look around you in the whole world. Try to find something that has come from sheer, pure non-existence. And we have already said earlier what, and that's the second question, second argument here. We have already said earlier, what have we said? Asatas chet, no, that's not what we have said, that's what he is saying. We've already said earlier that the cause is inherent in the effect. So that's what he's also saying. Asatas chet, if supposing were born of asat, it would not be recognizable as having a name, having a form. It would not be recognizable at all as having a name and form. Why? He gives a very fantastic hetu. Niratmakatvat. Because it has no being. It has no atma of its own. It has no being. So because of the non-beingness, it is not recognizable. Then it is not available for objectification. But that's not what we see. We see the Jagat populated with things. Upalabhyate tu. Are you blind? Can't you not see that the whole world is full of name and forms that you can touch, that you can talk to, that you can objectify, that you can interact with. So that itself goes to show something. What does it go to show? It goes to show that this must have a cause. And if this thing exists, the cause also is what? Existent cause, not a non-existent cause. So, tasmad what? Therefore, asti brahma. A few more nuances we have to talk about before we go to the next argument. We'll do that when? Tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaga Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Swaminichi. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.